Hello everybody, and welcome to They Bleed Pixels, the next installation of my hardcore strategy series. In this, I will be explaining the best and safest methods of completing the game. I will not be going over the pages and enemy kills, or time bonus, or no deaths. This will be focused on making the easiest possible run for you. Right now, we're going to start off on standard difficulty. Novice difficulty is what you want to play if you want to be a beginner. But basically, you want to start here if you actually want to complete the game. These are tutorials that basically show you the techniques and methods you can use with the few buttons you have. We're going to go ahead and start off on the Prologue. And from there, it'll show us how to do things. We're going to skip the cutscene, of course, because we don't really need it. But yeah, basically you get a little quote, then you press space, start the game, and then you get started here. There are many ways you can die in this game. Right away it shows you one of the ways you can, by falling into a pit of spikes. And this basically shows you that you can open up doors by holding the attack and hitting forward. If you just hit the attack button, you do a kick, like that. And the only way you can open up doors is if you kick those as well. Just tap them. And you can also, kick an enemy into a pit of spikes and they'll die pretty much instantly. Now, there's a score-based system that depends on getting a checkpoint. Basically, this is the only way you can save the game during the level, is if you kill or get enough points. And you save right there, it'll come back later. You can tell right there in the top right that you can take about 3 hits. And there you can see one of the basic techniques of how you die. Sometimes you'll stick to things or die in place and you'll see your corpse in some areas. But if they can't, register, they'll basically liquefy you. And right there you can see one of the more difficult techniques where you kick an enemy in the air and you do basically an air swing. And that sort of juggles them in the air. That up there only leads to a book. You don't need to go that way. And here, if you want to get the enemies out of the way, you don't have to kill them. You can just kick them out of the way. Most of them will generally die on their own. That right there you just saw was a bomb in. They can be very dangerous sometimes, but they can also instant kill other enemies as well for you. But they always just deal one hit, like everything else. These guys are just your very run-of-the-mill enemies. They'll attack you, and occasionally if you duck while they attack, they'll also duck it as well. So they're not completely mindless. But they are pretty much what you kill most of the time when you want to kill things. That right there was an air dive. Basically, if you jump in the air and hold down and attack, you'll do a ground pound, and how high you are depends on how much damage you'll do. So sometimes it'll take a while, sometimes you'll have to do it instantaneously. These right here are blood pellets. They're the basic methods of gaining score and upgrading your checkpoint there at the top left. See right there, you can get one there. That's normally where you want to do one. Wherever you're safe or wherever you get past and meet an objective, you'll make sure you save. You don't always want to do it instantaneously. And of course that up there is where another page is. You don't have to go that way. And here's the method of the gate. Now right here, these gray lined walls, that means you cannot wall climb on them or do any sort of dash attacks. So you gotta be careful with where you go, because you're always gonna be moving whenever you touch them. And here is the basic method of killing any enemies. If you try to kill them while they're standing there, they will eventually block you and it will become harder. So you just wanna kick them up in the air and then stab at them. Now here we're introduced to one of the more obnoxious obstacles, saw blades. The thing about these things is that when you get hit, you can bounce in pretty much any random location. And they can also kill you instantly if you're not careful, so you always want to make sure to avoid those. And of course, spikes are not an uncommon thing in this game. They're pretty much everywhere. And as you can see, according to the background, this place is built just about the same way. So it gives you the sort of feel that the background is actually what you're on, but of course in terms of level design, all you get is the black, white outline stuff. And as you can see right there, if you kill an enemy and they land down below, they'll actually add points later until they land, but it doesn't give rid of the score. Right there's another example of killing an enemy. And of course down there and up there with the other pages, this is a pretty simple level, but again, we're just going to focus on here. You want to drop down there and pretty much just cling to the walls as much as you can. You don't want to go too low, of course, and going on those little narrow pathways doesn't give you as much. You can wall climb in this, and you do eventually go down, but for the most part, you stick to the walls pretty easily. Now right here's another little method of juggling. You can basically juggle a guy in the air and you can stab him later, and sometimes you get more points for it. Points are important if you want to upgrade your score for checkpoints, because they do make the game a little bit more manageable. There, right there, you can see I insta-killed an enemy just by ground pounding on them. And right here's the tricky part. Basically, you just want to hug the wall the whole time, and until you see the bottom, you should just go between the spikes. And also down there, of course, once you go through that, you gotta go to the side if you want to get out there. Going up that way where those bomb imps are, just take you to another page. So you don't want to go that way entirely. Unless you want to higher your score, but that's just for grading and stuff. There you can see I killed an enemy by slamming into the spikes on the wall. You can get bonus points for however you dismember or destroy these things. But for the most part, if you want to just complete the game, you want to kill these things and get through them. You don't have to kill them, of course. You can just, if you want to be a speedrunner, you can go past them. If you want to kill them, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. You can juggle them, kick them, and they'll, And up that way, as you can see, there's an opening. That means you can, like, go all the way up there, and there'd be a book page. But for the most part, that was actually the hardest to get. So we're going to go into here, which is the final area of the level. And for the most part, every final level comes with this sort of a gauntlet of inescapableness. If you're on a platform that's moving, or if there's something moving next to you, or an enemy or something like that, you can actually place them. You have like a certain range at which they can go on. And of course, I'm going to show you right here one of the effects of dying. If you sort of land in a spike or something, yeah, you can pretty much die. Like if you're not careful. So you can die pretty easily, even though you can take 3 hits, it's still easy to die. And here, if you look carefully, you can see that I'm just slowly gliding down the wall. And this whole area as well is entirely optional, up to you if you want to kill these enemies or not. But for the most part, if you're just trying to finish the level, you can just like walk by them. And here, of course, you can save, and because up there is just a little spike area and slides. So here you just gotta be a little bit careful when jumping across. If you'll want to take it slowly too, because the faster you go, the faster you'll move. And you also want to wait for that saw to bounce back. If it's on the way to you, you want to stop. And that's pretty much the whole level. Please be able to leave, like, and subscribe. And of course, I didn't kill everyone or not die, but the whole point is to make it completable. And of course, this one's probably the easiest, but I guarantee you it will become more difficult and more complex later on. This is just to show you the basic concept and rules of how everything works, so yeah. And with that, I will see you all next time.